There was a time when the North Sea was not a sea at all, but a vast stretch of grasslands, rivers, and forests connecting Britain to Europe. Today we call it Doggerland, a hidden world lying beneath the waves, but for thousands of years it was home to real people who hunted, gathered, traveled, and lived in a landscape we can hardly imagine. Herds of reindeer moved across open plains. Rivers full of salmon carved winding paths toward the distant coast. This wasn't a fringe outpost. It was the heart of a land that once stretched from the white cliffs of England to the dunes of the Netherlands, and it was rich, fertile, and alive. As the last ice age ended, temperatures rose and the great frozen sheets began to melt. Slowly, almost silently, the sea crept inland. Hills became islands, marshes became bays. Rivers widened into estuaries. The people of Doggerland adapted, moving camps, adjusting their hunting grounds, watching the familiar transform into uncertainty. Yet no one living then could have understood the scale of what was coming. The ocean was not simply rising. The land beneath their feet was sinking too, weighted by the ice that had once pressed it down. Doggerland was caught between two forces, one above and one below. Around 8,200 years ago, the balance finally broke. In the far north, a massive underwater landslide, the Storegga slide, triggered a wave so powerful it traveled across the North Atlantic. When it reached Doggerland, water surged through river valleys and across the plains, swallowing forests, scattering wildlife, and tearing through the places families had lived for generations. It was not the final moment, but it accelerated what the sea had already begun. The land shrank, paths disappeared. The familiar world dissolved piece by piece. Within a few centuries, the last high points slipped beneath the surface, leaving only small islands before those too were claimed by the tide. Doggerland did not vanish overnight. It faded, steadily, until all that remained was water. And yet traces of this lost world still rise to the surface. Marine archaeologists scan the seabed and reveal long-dead river channels and lake beds still etched into the earth below. DNA studies show that the people who once walked across Doggerland did not disappear. They carried their skills, traditions, and stories into the land that became Britain. When we look out across the North Sea today, we are not seeing emptiness. We are looking at a world that shaped who we became, a world drowned, but not erased.